My name is Afshin Ziafat. I was born here in Houston, Texas. When I was 2 years old, my family moved back to Iran, where my parents are from. In the late 70s, an Islamic revolution hit that country, and we moved back to Houston when I was in the middle of first grade. I didn't speak English, I spoke Farsi, the language of Iran. And God, in His incredible plan, provided for me a Christian lady, a tutor, who would teach me the English language every day after school by reading me books. In the second grade, she came up to me and said, Afshin, I've been reading you all these books, but now I'm going to hand you the most important book you'll ever read in your life. And she handed me a small New Testament Bible. She gave me that Bible during the Iran hostage crisis when many people turned against my family because we were from Iran. But I'm so thankful that this one lady decided to look beyond the divisions of race and culture and class and pour herself into my life. I grew up in a Muslim family being taught the 5 pillars of faith of Islam and that Jesus Christ is just a prophet. My senior year in high school, I became curious with the person of Christ, and I found that Bible sitting at the bottom of my closet waiting for me after 10 years. I began reading that Bible and came face to face with the love of Christ, and eventually I would give my life to following Him. Unfortunately, I did not understand the cost of following Christ. You see, my father is a very prominent Muslim and has always been the most important person in my life. And because of that, I hid my faith from him for about 1.5 years until he finally found out, sat me down and made me choose between him and Christ. Everything in me wanted to choose Islam and choose my father. My flesh wanted to choose my father and not lose my dad. But God gave me the strength to look at my dad and say, Dad, if I have to choose between my earthly father and my heavenly father, then I choose my heavenly father. I choose Jesus. And so my father disowned me. It was that night in my room when I opened up the Bible. My father had told me to get out of his face, and I opened up the Bible and read in Matthew where Jesus says, whoever acknowledges me before men, I will acknowledge him before my Father in heaven. But whoever disowns me before men, I will disown him. Where Jesus says, I didn't come to bring peace but a sword, for I have come to turn a man against his father, a daughter against her mother. A man's enemies will be the members of his own household. Anyone who loves his father or mother more than me is not worthy of me. Whoever finds his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. And that's when I first understood what it means to be a Christ follower. Through the years, I've regained my relationship with my dad, and then only to see it go bad again when I decided to follow God into full-time ministry. But my God has been faithful every step of the way. My story is not about a testimony about a man's faithfulness to God, but rather God's faithfulness to a man. Today, my relationship with my father is restored, but even greater than that, now God has given me a nationwide and even a worldwide speaking ministry where I travel around, share the gospel, share my story, and see even Muslims give their faith to Christ through my story, through my message. And the only reason that is possible is because God had a plan for my life. Remember, He says, if you want to hold your life, you lose it, but if you lose your life for my sake, we'll find it. And I challenge you to lose your life. Lay your life down. Jesus says, if anyone wants to come after me, he must deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. And I found that when I've lost my life, that the life that Jesus has given me today, I would not trade for anything that I could have had following the path that my Father had for me. I pray that you would follow Christ and count the cost.